It was a combination of all three, to be completely honest. I think Hardin-Simmons on both sides of the ball and on special teams was just the more aggressive team, and they wanted it more. You could tell in the way that they went about it. But I'll say, too, if there was one thing that really stood out to me, and I was there in Abilene watching it from the press box and a little bit from field level, it was the trench play. It was the play up front, and specifically it was Hardin-Simmons' defensive front putting pressure. UMHB started Seth Mauser at quarterback that day. That was his first start. He had played in the previous games, but that was his first time starting. Facing that Hardin-Simmons defense, as we all know, is just a completely different animal compared to some of the other defenses that UMHB had played. And they played some good ones. But Hardin-Simmons came after him and put pressure, and that caused a lot of disruption in terms of the passing game. Then you try to run the ball, and the run game is really going nowhere. And a lot of that is, again, Hardin-Simmons being in position. And they were so correctly positioned for a lot of these reads that UMHB wasn't able to get much going on the plays that even typically, given way to some explosive plays in previous games. Again, this was an offense heading into that game that had really struggled. But I think what we saw from Hardin-Simmons that day was just a team that is so well versed in how to play together. There's a lot of seniors. There's a lot of guys on that group that have experience. And I think that showed itself most because up front, and as we know too, with Hardin-Simmons' offensive line, they're just very, very good in their line play. And that can swing a lot of games in their favor. If you start to look at the way Hardin-Simmons has played in the second half of a lot of games this season, I would include the UMHB game in there to really maintain the lead that they had. They held a shutout all the way until the final minute when UMHB scored very late.